Now, Kenyans now want mandamano, and the funny part of it is that no one is pushing them to go to the streets. In fact, they are coming out by themselves. So it's like what is always being said: if you don't save yourself, no one will actually come to save you. So it is upon you to take matters on your own arms and generally make a move. So yesterday when I was looking at what was trending and the different conversations that we have always been having about how is our nation going to be saved, what is it that people are supposed to do for them to salvage themselves out of this situation? Because if they don't stand up, if they don't speak up, nobody will definitely come to save them.
Na ile kitu mimi nataka nimwambie rais, ile vitu namwambia rais, sisi kama vijana wa Wasingishu na Kenya mzima, ya kwamba sisi saa hizi hatutaki tena maneno ya tutatenga, tuletenga, tutafanya, tulifanya. Sisi tunataka action. Kama anataka kusuluhisha shida hizo asuluhishe. Na kama anataka kutusafirisha ile safari alikuwa anataka kutusafirisha, atatusafirisha tu mapema. Hakuna haja aendelee kututesa. Atusafirisha once and for all, tujue tumeenda. Kwa sababu ukiangalia seriously, inakuaje mtu anaongeza ID from 100 shillings mpaka 2000? How possible is that? How practical is that? Hiyo ni how many percent? Anaongeza kitu kama marriage certificate. Unaweka 50,000 sio ama 100,000. Hawa vijana, mtu mwenye anaoa saa hizi hatuna kazi, hata kwa wenyewe imekuwa ni blanda, ni noma, utapata wapi 50,000? 50,000 ni pesa yenye kama ya juu ya kwamba vijana wako na shida akuje ground. 50,000 ni pesa yenye sisi tunasikia tu kwa theory. Si ati kitu unatashika tangu hata akuwe president, ukiuliza hawa vijana kama ameshika 20,000, utapata kama ni kwa vijana 100 wenye wamepata 20,000 tangu akuwe president, labda ni mmoja ama wawili. So lazima ajue ya kwamba wale vijana alitembea akisunguka akiwaambia ati wajinga waliisha Kenya, bado tuko. Na kama kweli analijua wajinga waliisha Kenya, ajue basi. Unless kama hataki kura tena, kwa sababu imefika mahali si maneno ya Azimio ama Kenya Kwanza. Hii inakata gross. Na Wakenya washikane, tuwe kitu moja, tulie na sauti moja. Otherwise hao watu wanatumaliza.
In fact, if the call for mandamano now becomes so weighty enough and it kind of materializes in the end, then this is the time we are going to see a mandamano where Kenyans have grouped themselves, and we are not going to see Raila Odinga championing for it, especially when you talk of the poor governance and, people being angry with the government of the day. It will be totally different from the demonstrations or picketings that we have always been seeing from, let's talk of the activists, or we see these other institutions taking it to the street to just complain of a given area. The one that is involving, pushing the government in its entirety, that one must have some political force behind it. And I think if it reaches that point, that is where we will be saying Kenyans have intrinsically realized that enough is enough. It will be the best thing to happen to us. But, you look at that, you still give it, we can still doubt it, because who will actually stand up for the people? And if you look at the effectiveness of the people coming out themselves, for now, we cannot lay our hands on people concretely coming out to be in that solidarity move without any politician coming out with them. We cannot actually try to say that it will be effective in the long run. And so in this analysis, I think we now need to devise ways. We now need to move with how the current is operating in the nation. Okay, if we are not going to have Raila Odinga forcing people to come out and demonstrate, if we are not going to have these politicians coming out to demonstrate, then what are we supposed to do? I have thought of one thing, and this one thing is actually what is going on right now. I think it's the best one, that if people can give heed to, if people can really listen to what nature is saying, then definitely this will be the best. You look at what is now happening, and I've said it very many times, you are also hearing outside there that people are giving the Kalenjins accolades. People are appreciating what the Kalenjin nation is doing. And I think that would be the best going forward. In fact, we need to see more of this. The next time William Ruto is going to organize, a rally, organize a movement, okay, to go and sensitize people about his governance, if the ground is really ready to tell him the truth, then I think the sequence that we have started seeing, the way we have started seeing the Kenyans standing with the truth and speaking the truth, that would be the best. Because how will we try to give Ruto credits outside his backyard when, the charity cannot be felt at home? The people who we have been thinking that, perhaps they will keep mum all time, even if things are, tattered, they will still keep quiet. They have been the ones who have come out to show another side of them that we did not know. You talk of instances where you go to the lowland and talk of Raila getting such kind of reception. That one, I think, after event that Raila shall have attended, it won't happen again. It won't happen again. I've never seen that, especially in the Luo nation. Right now we are only seeing it in Kalenjin. It's trying to grow up, but I know they are going to devise political ways, political solutions. They are going to come out with ways to curb this. And the probability is that in the near future, in the next 1 year or so, we are not going to have this continuing. It's going to slow down, it's going to subside. But if it could be something that is speaking volumes and the Kenyans actually heed to the call, then it can be a sequence. In every stop that Ruto is going to make and his lieutenants, the CSS who are, operating under scandalous modus operandi in his government, are supposed to meet that kind of force in everywhere they step. Look at what is happening in Mount Kenya region. Mount Kenya region is only trying to rebel in a way, but for their case, they are not well aligned in what do they want. They are now confused. They are thrown into that mix. They have found themselves in the pit, and it's becoming very difficult for them to come out of the pit. That one is different, when you try to compare it with what is happening in Kalenjin, because the Kalenjins know that, you are supposed to remove us from this pit because you are ours. We have entitlement, okay? Then we are not seeing you do that. So for them, if they come up with a voice, it will be so much immense and it will be cascading down. And that is the reason why you are hearing people celebrating. So the only way that we can see the effectiveness of Kenyans coming out is what is going on in the Kalenjin nation, is what the Kalenjin started, okay? If you are ours and you are a thief, we are not going to keep on saying that, oh, all right, we know that you are a thief, but you are ours, so we just continue embracing you. That one is a no-go zone. If every region, okay, can actually try to borrow that idea, I think we will be so far effective in trying to say enough is enough. Kenyans must be sensitive. So the sensitiveness of the people will matter a lot. What they always say, that you be alert. You raise your antennas, okay? Like you talk of how William Ruto gained traction. He used the church. Right now, we are seeing him trying to make ways into the church. It is not as effective as before. So if we can have another direction, if we can have another trajectory where even if he starts to hoodwink the people of the church, because it is the church where everybody meets, okay? And once they meet there, the conviction that they get from the church can actually change their mindsets. So if we can always have a transformation like what we are seeing from the ground happening even in the churches, I think we are going to move to a different kind of political landscape. And that will be confirming definitely that the call for Mandamano is real and is indicating that people are feeling that enough is enough. And you cannot actually ride on them for the betterment of your own vested interests. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Can that be effective? Because I don't see Raila Odinga resuming his demonstrations right now, unless, things change. Let us wait and see. I'll see you next. Have a great moment.